And if you have enough energy to cry, you should be alright, right? Well, the only energetic, I guess, Higurashi. But I don't know. I reread these, didn't I? Tips. Yeah, okay. I forgot, but I did. What chapter is this? I don't know. There was no way I'd be able to sleep. I just got my off the phone with Shion, right? When she hung up the phone like that, I realized for the first time what kind of situation I was in, as well as who the only ally who would support me was. Do do do. I waited with bated breath for Shion to calm down and call me back. What would I do if the phone rang while I was sound asleep? No matter how long I waited, however, it never rang. Exhausted, oh, whenever my mind started to wander, I would jolt awake as though I heard the phone ring. Do 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 do. In the end, I brought the cordless phone with me to my futon and went to sleep with it in my arms. Though it still didn't amount to anything, morning came, and by the time I was pretty sure she wouldn't call me back, that was when a fierce drowsiness assailed me. Damn it. This is no time for sleep, Kichimabara. I slapped myself in the face a few times. Pow, pow, pow. Some really slapping sounds. Then I went to the washroom and washed my face, which was something I usually didn't do. That wasn't enough, so I even brushed my teeth. What are you just cleaning up? After that, I was finally wide awake. When Mion saw how strange I was acting, her eyes went wide. What's wrong, Kichi? Oh, not Mion, my mom. Are you, going somewhere today? Going somewhere? Yeah. To school. To school? Oh, that was a quick transition. Kichi-kun, you don't look so good today. Do you have a cold? I'm not sick, I just didn't get much sleep. If I, space out and start, talking nonsense, just humor me. Ha 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 ha. I wonder what kind of nonsense she'll say, I wonder. Now I'm looking forward to it, ho. I felt, utterly shattered. I still hadn't, picked myself back up this morning, and for precisely that reason, Venus' honest smile was a sight for sore eyes. Yo, yo, what's up, Ki-chan, Rina? Good morning. Good morning. What? Mi-chan, you look like you didn't get much sleep either. Mion had, gone home early yesterday with a hangover, but she didn't look too good this morning either. Her usual cheerfulness was completely buried in shadow. Yeah, I went to bed at like 3. I'm a little tired. The 3? Hey now, you can't stay up that late. You probably read the first volume of a manga, thought it was interesting, then read the entire series, didn't you? I understand, I've done that before. I joked, trying to shake off my sleepiness. I was trying to be considerate. However, neither Mian nor Rina smiled, in fact they didn't even pay attention. Rina's expression immediately darkened. What? Wait, is it about the mayor? He still hasn't been found? Nope. Hey, wait a minute, what are you talking about? You can't find the mayor? Even the classroom, which was normally bustling with bright, joking voices, seemed filled with a different sort of murmur today. Good morning, Kichi-san. Have you heard? It looks like something terrible has happened. I don't really know this mayor person, but he's an old guy, right? Couldn't he have just wandered around senile? The mayor's certainly not senile. He's a, springy man who can teach both calligraphy and swordsmanship. He probably got lost somewhere like me. Lost Rika. Oh, I want to take you home with me. Getting lost is only cute because children like we could do it. It's only cute because children like we could do it. Worn out or man getting lost isn't moe in the slightest. While my mind entered dumb thoughts like that, our teacher arrived. Everyone hushed to their seats, rushed. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. The class greeting was normal, but the atmosphere in the room was heavy. Some of you may have heard, but last night, despite the late hour, the mayor never came home. Is there anyone who saw the mayor yesterday? One or two hands went up in silence, and they told her about having seen him. None of it seemed to be vital information, however, and everyone began whispering amongst themselves. If anyone has seen the mayor, please tell adults about it, alright? Now then, let's begin class. After that, the same old lessons began. Uh, oh, the room as once quieted, blossomed into flowers again at lunchtime. I could hear a few different conversations. They were mostly related to the mayor's disappearance. Summing them all up, I came out with this. Yesterday evening, the mayor went to a meeting at the shrine's assembly hall. The meeting ended after the sun had fully set and everyone left. The elder's house was a bit far away from the center of Himizawa. It was already late and Himizawa doesn't have a lot of lights outside. Nobody saw the mayor after the meeting. However, because he would have been hungry, he wouldn't have taken any side trips, he would have gone straight home. However, no matter how long his family waited, he never returned. Some thought there might have been an accident. They left no stone unturned. They searched from the irregular channel to the water wells and even in the rice paddies. But they didn't find him. Of course, there was a limit to how far they could search in the middle of the night. Police were going to wait for day, then have the young men of the town help search. If after all that the slip couldn't find him, they were apparently even going to go looking into the mountains. Even now, at this moment, the adults were probably all searching for him. The more they searched in vain, the more time passed. The only thing that came to my mind was the curse. The curse of Orishiro-sama of the demoning away. Why the curse? Had it become this year's sacrifice to Orishiro-sama's curse, which had recently been occurring every year? Oh. That possibility which everyone thought about, but nobody could say out loud, was slowly but surely spreading throughout the village. Was he demoned away and offered as a sacrifice to quell Orishiro-sama's anger? My classmates were whispering to each other that the curse didn't happen this year, so there shouldn't have been any sacrifices. I, on the other hand, knew. The curse did happen again this year. There were 2 people that died. It may sound strange, but I hadn't exactly thought the elder would be the one to go missing. My reason was clear. Shion and I have been a higher priority than him. The 4 of us were thieves that broke the taboo and set foot into the sacred ritual storehouse. If Tomitaka and Takano-san had suffered mysterious death, then it should have been mine and Shion's turn next. This time, it should have been me and Shion, eh? I laughed painfully to myself. I yelled at Shion over the phone that I didn't want to end up in such a terrifying situation, but now that someone other than me has disappeared, I could only think that I should have been the one to go. Watanagashi, the bottom of the swamp, said to have been a place where the demons found sacrifices long ago. Just as it ran through my thoughts, the villagers must have also considered the swamp. Maybe police divers were plumbing into depths even now. They probably wouldn't find anyone. Not a single missing person had ever been found. They would always suspect Onigaiushi, but not once have they ever turned up a corpse from it. After all, it was a devilish spot on a swamp from which no one who sinks can ever return. I could hear somebody telling their friend that in the classroom. Well, now that you mention it, Satoshi-san, he left around this time last year, didn't he? Huh? Satoshi? I've heard that name before. Oh, you don't know Satoshi in this timeline? He was right, he disappeared because of last year's curse. Oh. The conversation was happening in the seat next to me, so I could hear it clearly. I thought you meant like you remembered it from one of the last timeline. Because we did hear about the curses, didn't we? Oh yeah, and then Shion, and what's their faces were telling us about the disappearances after the people who died. The conversation was happening in the seat next to me, so I could hear it clearly. Didn't we search the whole village like this was Satoshi-san too? We didn't find him either. What did we decide that was? A demoning away, right? Yeah. I heard he withdrew all his savings and ran away from home. Someone from the police said there was somebody who saw him and the bullet train at Nagoya Station. Ran away, huh? I wasn't that interested in the reason, which seemed understandable in this case. Everyone else who disappears had their own reasons too. Either they were still on the run because they were criminals, or they were a corpse that couldn't be found. It's not like any of them suddenly disappeared into thin air for no reason, but they disappeared. Somebody disappeared whenever the curse took a life, as if by design. They may have various understandable reasons, but they still disappeared. From that point of view, really might have been demoning away this time. The May disappearance was the first such incident without a no, clear reason behind it. Of course, coming to that realization didn't help to resolve anything. Looks like I messed up this evening today. Sorry. Normally Rena would have devoured her lunch immediately, but today there were still tons left. That wasn't because Rena's lunch didn't taste good or anything, though. That isn't the case. Your lunch today is as delicious as always. Satoko dips her chopstick into Rena's bento box and pulls bits of food out, one after the other. I wonder why I can hear Higurashi and it's not like the happy music. Yes, delicious indeed. Today in particular, in fact. Chomp chomp. Ha ha ha, huh? You know those are pumpkin croissants, right? Right, are you okay? Uh, yes. You don't like pumpkins? It's your pumpkin and it's delicious. Does Toko dislike pumpkin? Because she forced herself to smile and shoved more into her mouth. Everyone knew. Nobody's lunch tasted very good today. Toko kept shoving it down, repeating her remark on how good it was. If that's good, then I guess I'll go have some too. Toko's gonna eat it all if we let her. It's just so good, so I would certainly like it if Kichi-kun were able to have some as well. Well, sometimes I have to show my idle generosity, right? Okay, don't hold back on my account. Eat enough for the both of us today. What? She really hated pumpkin, didn't she? That made it all the more touching to see Satoko's own brand of generosity. He grabbed her head and started stroking it. Satoko, in somewhat exaggerated fashion, was bawling, tears streaming down her face. No way. You'll never grow up if you give away such good food. You eat too. I only have leftover vegetable stew, but it tastes great after having sat overnight. Yeah, the bacon recipe has such a pretty color going through it. It looks delicious. I guess I'll have to get some then. Rena reached out with her chopsticks, and at last, the usual lunch atmosphere began to return. That was only our desk, though, however. The dark tales of Odishida-sama's curse, which had reoccurred for 5 years in a row, didn't cease. The whole class remained stuck in this somber mood. Odishida-sama's curse had happened for 5 years straight. Everyone had wanted the previous year to be the last. What was Odishida-sama's curse anyway? They were going to build a dam in Himizawa. The people in building it were bad, so they were cursed. I would admit that much. Still, the dam project was frozen years ago, wasn't it? So why was the curse still stubbornly persisting? I hit myself on the cheek to perk myself up. Everyone was trying so hard to brighten the mood. I couldn't go straight back to thinking about the curse like that. I forced the grim story out of my head. Driving Odishida-sama's curse out of my thoughts was actually a pretty good idea. In the end, that meant I would also be driving away the most terrifying thought of all. I could be the curse's next target. Mion's taking a while, isn't she? How long does it take to wash her hands? Mion said she had to go wash her hands and left, and she hadn't come back yet. Ha 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 ha. She's probably taking a little afternoon nap somewhere. I think she was up pretty late last night looking for the mayor and all. I smiled a bit when I let out a sigh. Today was no good. However much we tried to lighten the mood, things always came back to the mayor. No good day. I transferred here yet recently, so the shock of the curse happening 5 years running was an unimaginably big one. Maybe I do need to appreciate that. When Mi-chan was really little, the mayor would always spoil her. When she was going through a prankster phase, he loved her like his own daughter. Prankster phase. Do. She's told me that often. I see. Neon was in shock too. Someone disappearing at all because of a curse was a very scary thing. If the sacrifice has somebody you knew, though, then shock must be 100 times worse. Toko, as if she'd come up to the same conclusion, bit her lower lip and looked downwards. Oh, Rika-chan is taking a while too. Maybe they're taking a nice afternoon nap together. Rika wasn't out that late. As soon as she yawned, everyone gathered around her and started saying goodnight, goodnight. Now that she mentioned it, there was a lot of old people rubbing their babies in a ferret gratitude towards Rika-chan during the festival too. An image of the indulged elderly came to mind. Did Rika-chan discover a way to get herself to be pampered like that? Is there a reason the older people treat Rika-chan like an idol? Is she their ideal image of a granddaughter or something? Ba da 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 da. Ba ba da da ba da ba ba. I don't know anything about that now. But I want to see Rika-chan yawning. It's probably all like da 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 da. How I want to take her home. I don't personally think it's that cute. It's more of a gya as she opened her mouth really wide so you can see the back of her throat. Her throat, the thing in her throat all wobbly. How Venus hands at times like these, I finally managed a heartful laugh. Alright, I'm on day duty today, aren't I? I need to go get some water. I need to go and water the flower garden. The garden is right outside the teacher's lounge too. They can really tell if you don't do it right. I think Satoko-chan is cute, not only Rika-chan. Evilly, yeah, I can't breathe. Oh, I got glimpse, it was so cute. Satoko is cute too, I'm going to take you home. Rina was squeezing her hand around Satoko's neck and was trying to get a look into her throat. You know, Rina is, I can't say it aloud, but she's a notorious censored, isn't she? Sweat. A censored? What's a censored? Hearing Satoko make a weird noise like a chicken being strangled was kind of hilarious. I couldn't help but laugh. At some point, the classroom erupted into laughter too. Maybe Rina was doing this on purpose. Even if she wasn't, this nonsense was a welcome sight. Anyway, let's get over to the flowers while I still have time. Slowly and quietly, lest I destroy the room's newfound peace, I left the classroom. The watering can was hanging up outside the kitchen. This building had originally been an all-male forestry service building, so there was apparently nothing so thoughtful as a garden here before. When they decided to have a school share this space, they built one there as a modest gesture of appreciation. But well, the flower bed, it was a little longer than you would expect. It went all around. It went all over the place. It was so big one would need to fill the watering can 5 to 6 times to get it done. I was doing this together with a kid who was also, thankfully, on day duty today. She was in the lowest grade, though, and full size smaller than even Rika-chan. I couldn't make a kid who would struggle just to lift the watering can come and help me with this. For this, if one was placed on day duty with someone liked, they would do it all for you, so it'd be cake. No point in blaming her. I give up, I'll just get started. Watering can in hand, just as I was about to leave the building, the old man from the forestry office addressed me. Sonny, there's a vegetable garden behind the warehouse, right? It's all just about dried up. Water that too, would you? Oh, you mean that curry vegetable garden? The one with the potatoes and carrots and other things? The only ingredients for curry? It's definitely the personal garden of our curry-learning teacher, but making students responsible for his upkeep is getting them involved in her personal affairs. You can say that to his face though, so I gave up and decided to carry out my day duties. The sunlight out front was strong. The great chorus of cicadas was strongly underlining how nothing was different today than yesterday. I passed by the classroom. I don't know how it happened, but me and Satoko were in the middle of a huge melee battle. While I was gone, the kids had arranged all the desks into a circle, forming a ring while everyone was cheering them on. Yeah, that's how it should be. Once school ended, we would need to return to reality. The talk of the elders' disappearance would once again be all over the place. I wanted everyone to forget about everything and just have fun, just like yesterday. Only while they were at school. In that sense, Satoko's whirling elbows and Rina's backwards flying spin kick made for a pleasant sight, even if as a result they flipped over my desk. Ugh, my pencil box. Ugh, I'll just let it happen today. I set to work hastily watering everything, wanting nothing more than to be done as soon as possible. That should do it. No sooner had I thought that than I remembered I had to go water the teacher's curry vegetable garden too. That's such a pain, but I have a feeling that it'll come back to bite me if I don't. I gave up. I filled the can with water again and headed towards the warehouse. The warehouse. This place was this was a place students didn't like to go. It was damp here, and you couldn't discard the possibility of slugs and pile bugs being around. Hello, Vika. Not Vina, you're Vika. Meep. So when I ran across her in a place like this, I was surprised. Whoa! Oh, it's Rika-chan. Don't scare me like that. Rika was just standing there like a puppet devoid of life. I was the only one who was startled here. Rika-chan didn't even seem to react to my appearance. Rika-chan? Finally she noticed me. Her expression was clearly abnormal. There was red under her eyes, stained with tears and dirt. There was blades of grass stuck in her hair too, and her clothes looked as though she'd fallen onto the ground. Rika-chan, are you hurt? Did you fall? Hey, no, that isn't. Rika-chan said in her brightest voice she could manage as she's rubbing her eyes. She didn't look anywhere near normal though. What happened? You weren't sleeping on the storehouse roof and then fell off or anything, did you? Don't worry about me. I have something I want to ask you, Kichi. Rika-chan walked over and clung to me. At first I thought she was playing a trick on me. Eventually, however, I realized it was so that I wouldn't run away from the questions she was about to ask. I shuddered. What do you want from me? Hmm. You should do the same thing to me, but I think I'd rather Rina grab me than Ushi. She looked straight into my eyes. Her upturned eyes bored right into me. It was as though they were trying to pull the answer out of my eyes without actually asking me the question. It was scary, so I averted my eyes from hers. Kichi, did you do something bad on the night of the festival? My body gave a jolt from its very core. Rika-chan, who was clinging to me, might have felt my shiver. A nervous tingle followed up my feet, and after going up my back and freezing my entire body, it made its way into my brain. Kichi, do you really not remember? My head began to throb. I don't understand anything. Nyan asked me, Yushi asked me, Shion asked me, and then Rika-chan asked me. We thought nobody knew and what we did last night, but in fact everyone knew. They all knew, and they came to ask me, again and again until I admitted it. When I thought about it, it was pretty clear that the whole thing was out in the open. After all, didn't Tommy tag into Kano-san that's prove it? Kichi? How should I respond? We never should have entered the forbidden storehouse, and even though I regretted it so much, was she saying it wasn't enough? However, I had all decided I was going to say, I'm not exactly a good kid, you know. I've done a lot of bad things, I can't remember anything specific. Just as I did with all the others, I evaded the question. Rika-chan stared up at me with innocent eyes. Her eyes were so painful that I had to look away. After a few moments of mutual silence, Rika-chan released me. I'm sorry for asking you something so strange. Please forget about it, she said, smiling her usual smile. Then tap tap tap, she went running off as if nothing happened. As she retreated in silence, I could feel her accusing me. Rika-chan? If she didn't hear my voice, then I was going to give up. Oh, she heard. Rika-chan swerved around and waited for me to continue. I was the one who had questions now, so asking any of them could just be a half-assed way of admitting that what I did. Hey, Rika-chan, what is it? If everyone knows anyway, then I should be able to ask this at least. Why is everyone asking me about the Nardo festival that evening? Had I done something that wrong? I felt pretty sorry about it, and I only looked away. And I only looked anyway. I didn't break anything or steal anything, really. So Tomitaka and Takano-san, they died so miserably. Since those two had to come to an end, there's obviously no way it would forgive only me. Rika-chan was cutely tilted her head in confusion and waited for me to say something. If I were to admit what happened that night, though, she might suddenly go a 180 as if flipping a switch. That would make sense. Rika-chan was a shrine maiden. She was the least likely to forgive me for breaking the taboo, wasn't she? On reflection, wouldn't Tanika be more terrifying than tanning Miyano Ushi-san? Rika-chan could just give up and leave, couldn't she? She didn't. She only was quietly waiting for me to say it myself. Say, Kichimabara, if you really are sorry, then say so. Of course, there's no one to hesitate given the crazy way Kamitaka and Takano-san died. A plumping machine called Chaos was grinding up my brain. The juice wrung out of it turned into big droplets of sweat which began to fall. Kichi, Rika-chan suddenly straightened up, trying to pat me on the head. I don't really understand what you're worried about, Kichi. I had nothing to say to that. I lowered my head a little so that Rika-chan's palm could reach it. She petted me kind of like one would a cat. Do you know about the big storehouse a little ways behind the shrine ground? It stores the implements for use for rituals. My breath literally stopped. Rika-chan, though, wasn't acting in a cohesive way at all. Apparently, on the night of a festival, a cat snuck into the storehouse. A cat? Yes, a cat! Meow meow. Rika-chan knew. She realized I was in fear. I can tell she was desperately trying to choose the right words so that she wouldn't scare me. The cat always wanted to explore inside the storehouse, but I was mean to it. I never let it go inside. So on the night of the festival, the cat couldn't hold itself back anymore and went inside. The cat. In this case, supposed to be Takano-san. Oh wait, was it supposed to be me? Inside there were actually a lot of things that scared the cat. Rika-chan made a cute gesture like a ghost was coming out to frighten me. The cat was both terrified and amazed. It ran away as fast as it could. Clatter, 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 shiver, shiver, meow, meow. It was terrible. This cat. Who are you saying it was? The cat is a cat. Meow, meow. Rika-chan still avoids saying it. The cat, though, was without a doubt me. Rika-chan, please tell me. The cat. What should it do now? Maybe it was a desperate question to ask. I had sort of admitted to being the cat. The cat is just a cat, so it should just keep meowing and everything will be fine. Everything will be fine? That's stupid. Shouldn't it just keep meowing? Geez, Rika-chan and I have put together an entire conversation using cat as a code word. I didn't say it directly, but I'd already admitted it. I didn't want it to end up like those two. I didn't want it to be sacrificed like Shion said. That's what I thought, so I suddenly remained silent. But now that's enough. They can't just keep meowing. The dog saw the cat making mischief and sneaking inside. The dog. That's right. It was the dog. It kept coming to the cat, trying to get it to say that it snuck inside. After I said that, Rika-chan's expression clouded over. She was trying to hide it, but I've already noticed her eyes darkening. Rika-chan, silence was frightening, so I spurted her on. At that point, Rika-chan grinned. It's alright. I'll protect the cat. Huh? I thought for a moment I had misheard those words, so dependable they were. The cat is really scared, but it isn't really all that bad. I think all of the dogs are just misunderstanding. It's not all that bad. The cat is worrying too much. I'll do something about it for sure. Rika-chan will do something about it? I don't even know left from right at the moment, so Rika-chan didn't look all that dependable. It might be hard, but I'll do my best. Go for it, yay! She clenched her fist up and stuck it in the air. Rika-chan said that the cat can just keep meowing. You said to leave it all to her, right? Is that really all it took to resolve this whole thing? Would you really be alright, Rika-chan? If I don't do my best, then something bad could happen to the dogs too. I had no idea what Rika-chan was talking about anymore. She had been talking to me under the assumption that I was aware of certain things. So at first I understood her. Around the middle point though, I stopped understanding anything. I mean around the end point. So one thing I did know was to not worry and leave it to her. Rika-chan straightened up once again, patted me on the head and smiled. Why are the dogs in danger if they go after the cat? Is 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 it because the cats aren't the marked cats? So they might hunt the wrong cat, which would make the big half the cat dog, big cat dog in the sky very angry. Maybe. Rika-chan straightened up once again, patted me on the head and smiled. I was so moved by that reassuring feeling that I couldn't help but start to cry. I'm sorry. The cat, it really was just a little bit of mischief. It didn't think any of this would. It's too much of a scaredy cat. That's why you should never have seen the storehouse. She was right. It was far too shocking for somebody to see based on a little bit of interest alone. That's why they made it so difficult to look at in the first place, wasn't it? Rika-chan, what would happen to the cat? Two of the cats that snuck in well that night they heard Tomitaka-san and Takano-san's deaths were being kept a secret. Rika-chan might not have known about it. Tomitaka and Takano? I gave a start at the sudden mention of actual names. It was weird to do that at this point. You should forget about them. My spine froze again. Forget? Yes. It won't do any good to remember those two, Kichi. The more you think about it, the scarier it will get. You should just forget about them as soon as possible. She said something so, enormously terrifying without letting the smile on her face waver at all. I don't know where you heard about it from, but you should forget everything. Make your mind as clean as a scrubbed bathtub. Forget Rika-chan. You know, don't you? You know how those two died? No matter how they died, it has nothing to do with you, Kichi. Rika declared this in a flat tone. Nothing to do with me. So forget about it. The girl before me, she was innocent and lovable, and even she seemed trustworthy, but suddenly she took on another dimension. Don't get involved with their deaths. Oh, I'll help you, Kichi. Those two contradictory statements twisted and distorted my image of the girl in front of me. How are they contradictory? She's saying that she'll deal with it and don't worry about it, right? What about Shion? What happened to her? It might have been dangerous to mention Shion's name, but I couldn't stop myself from asking. Riku-chan saw everything through anyway. There's no way I was gonna fool her or keep anything from her at this point. The younger of the sister cats? Meow meow. Yeah, the little sister cat. Riku-chan appeared to think upon this for a moment. It was hard for me to enjoy even this momentary silence. The big sister cat is angry. The little sister cat did something so bad, so she's really mad. The big sister cat, that could only be Mion. I recall being questioned by her yesterday. Kichi, the big sister cat is not in a good mood at all. I think we should leave her alone for a while. Not in a good mood. Those words sent a shiver through me. Meow was mad. She was mad that we entered the ritual storehouse. Let's stop having club from now on. Huh? Why? I think we should leave her alone. Rika-chan ended her sentence with such force that I couldn't say anything in response. Hey, Kichimabara, don't disobey Rika-chan right now. She's the only one who said she'll help me from now on. I'll leave things to her just as she said to. I mean, she even said that the cat should just keep meowing. I'll forget everything like she said. I'll leave everything to her. I'll forget everything about Takana-san and Tomitake and what I did that night. Just then, we heard a bell far away, marking the end of our lunch break. I guess we should get back to class. Kichi. As if she noticed how miserable I was about to leave her and flee the scene, Rika-chan called out to call me, to stop me. If the misunderstanding dog comes to try and bite the cat, please tell me, okay? The misunderstanding dog. She put it in such a cute sounding way, but the true meaning behind those words was an eerie one. Who is the misunderstanding dog? The dog that bit the mayor. I don't know why it did that. If it was going to bite anyone, it would have been the trickster cat first. The flow of blood in my body felt like it completely stopped for a moment. Big-chan had admitted it. The sacrifices of that terrible calamity. She admitted that if they were to happen again, it would be Shion or I. This I didn't know what was true about the girl standing before me. My suspicions gave way to fear, and nearly began to change into anger. Was she a savior who would protect me, or a stranger trying to capture and kill me for the sake of a horrible tradition? I had no idea what was true. I'm sorry. The cat's already scared and I said something to scare you even more. I'm really sorry. Rika-chan bowed so quickly, it looked like her head had been pulled downwards. She was right, I was cowering. I could distinctively feel my body shaking violently. So when Rika-chan reached her hand out to pat me on the head, I pulled away without thinking. Ah, I'm so. Rika-chan made a really sad face, but I just couldn't bring myself to put out my head for her again. That day, Rika-chan said she wasn't feeling up for club activities that day, so she suggested we not bother. There's always vetoes when somebody doesn't feel up to it. Rina and the others seemed really disappointed. The big sister cat is not in a good mood. I remember Rika-chan's words and quietly stole a glance at Mion's expression. If I could forget the way she questioned me yesterday, if her behavior was the same as it always was. Higurashi, when they cry. I'm making a phone call. After dinner without the energy to watch TV, I climbed into my futon in my bed and let my head be overtaken by gloomy thoughts. Let me lie down. I told Vika-chan anything and everything. Oh, why is that such a loud noise? She had seemed trustworthy at the time, but had that really been the right choice? The more I looked back on it, the less I understood what Vika-chan was saying. Not only did she know about Kana-san and Tomitake's death, but she spoke of them as if she was you a concerned party. After all this time in my futon, I began to tremble fiercely. Had I been lured into by Vika's sweet smile and told the things I shouldn't have? I should have continued to fake ignorance. I shouldn't have shown her such a weak side of me. My emotions are a mix of regret and fear, and colored the darkness of the night with an additional layer of terror. Suddenly a knock. I might have yelped. That's how surprised I was. Ichi, I've been calling your name for a while. You have a phone call. From Shinozaki. It was Dad. I reached out for the cordless phone through the gap in my door. Shinozaki-san, which one? The older sister or the younger? I don't know. Ask her yourself. I took the receiver and buried myself in my futons again. Hello? Hello, Mion? Or is it Shion? It's me. Shion. Good evening. I practically jumped out of my bed. It was Shion who I'd hoped so desperately would call me back last night. Shion, sorry about last night. I got all riled up. I heard what sounded like a deep sigh on the end of the line. You and me are in the same situation, aren't we? I'm in the same situation, aren't we? I shouldn't have blamed you for everything like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, please cheer up. I called you because I'm in a better mood. If you're sorry, then I'll forgive you, so please stop apologizing. Fion's tone still sounded a little angry, but for the moment she said she'd forgive me. You're right, we're too we're tied to the same fate. Making sure the other is alright is the only way to guarantee our own safety. Yeah, I agree. We absolutely need to share whatever information we have. Bum bum bum. So that we don't die like Dakan-san and Tomitech-san. Gulp. Ba ba ba. Ba ba. Ba da da da. I forced myself to swallow a solid drop of saliva. Then let's continue from where we left off. What were we talking about last time? I forgot. You listened without getting angry this time, right? Yeah. Oh, about us being sacrificed? I'll be fine. Firstly, it seemed, sneaking into the ritual storehouse was more of a taboo than we thought. Yukan-san and Tomitake-san's miserable ends, terrible enough that you could call them a warning. They were more than enough to make me believe that. The culprit killed those two, the ones responsible for studying the storehouse, and they'll come for us next. I know you want to deny that, but please accept it. It'll be too late to believe me after you've disappeared, okay? I got it. You can never be too careful after all. I don't want to accept it either. To think that sneaking a peek at that museum of torture devices deserves a death like that, I don't want to believe it. That's what a taboo is. For those who honor it, if one breaks the taboo, no matter how small and innocent their intentions were, they wouldn't be forgiven. Let's report anything we notice that seems strange. If we connect all the tiny pieces that we have, then just maybe we'll find out who killed them, or maybe even the truth behind the instances of the previous years. We could find the key that will solve everything. You're right. You're right about that. All I was doing was waiting in fear, but Shion had already thought that far ahead. Given how trustworthy she felt, I became embarrassed over how passive I was being. Then I'll start since I suggested it. I feel like somebody's been watching me lately. What? It might be my imagination, but I'll tell you anyway. I think it's just me, but it feels like you're being watched too, Kichi-chan, then. It feels like you're being watched too, Kichi-chan, then. Maybe it's not just my imagination. Well, don't worry. At the very least, everything's fine for me, I think. As I spoke with Shion, I thought back on today. I know God to say that everything was fine. I see. I suppose it was just my imagination, but you be careful too, Kichi-chan. Be especially careful when you're by yourself in public. I'm in Akinomiya, so I won't be alone very often, but you live in Himizawa. There'll be lots of chances for you to be alone. So, please be extra careful. You're right. Yeah, I'll be careful. Also about my sister, has she been acting strange lately? Your sister Omion, right? What do you mean by acting strange? Well, yesterday, she came up to me and asked me where I was on the night of the Watanagashi. What? That's what she asked me too. The, the day before yesterday, I think Mian asked me. I see. I told her I wasn't there. What did you say? I did the same thing. I just dodged the question. Both of us gave a quiet sigh of relief. Ever since the night of the festival, my sister has been acting a lot more strange. We can't be too careful, so just be aware, okay? Mia was acting strangely. Aside from her asking about the night at the Watanagashi, she hadn't seemed too out of the ordinary, at least from my point of view. Her twin sister, though, was saying she was acting weird. Maybe it was such a slight change that strangers like me wouldn't be able to notice. Got her. I'll start being careful. I'll always have Rena with me on my way back to school. I shouldn't end up alone with Mion very often. Please be careful. If there's anything that's bothering you, you can tell me. Alright. Bum 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 bum. Okay. Is there anything you want to tell me, Key-chan? My turn. That's right. Maybe I should report on Ushi-san asking me the same question at the library. Oh, that's when you were too slow to escape. Yeah. Ushi-san asked me pretty forcefully whether I was with Takano-san and Tomitaka-san that night and whether had seen you. Ushi-san seemed to have been seen the four of us together. From the PC's point of view, that would make us the last people who had seen him. I suppose given that, it's only natural that they'd be interested in us. I raised the question then too, but that might have been that might have just made them more interested. There was no way I could have tricked that sly old fox Ushi-san. My troubled countenance would have only made him even more certain. Hey Shion, since they're the police, shouldn't we just tell them? Considering our situation, I think having them on our side would be a good thing. John didn't answer right away. For a few moments, all I could hear was her breathing as she thought about it. Now that I think about it, Ushi-san said there was a possibility something shady about Mion. There was something shady about Mion. At least I think that's what she said. Yeah, yeah, he definitely did. As I explained yesterday, the Shinazaki family holds a lot of influence over Himizawa. Ushi is under the impression that the whole village with the Shinazaki family at the center of it all is responsible for the um recurrent freak deaths. The whole village is just behind them, the Shinazaki family at the center. Please don't get angry with me like you did yesterday and just listen. I hammered that home before I got too upset. But like you did yesterday and just listen. During the Himizawa Dam project, the priest, who everyone was anticipating to lead the anti-dam movement, acted as though he was unrelated, so the Shinzaki house rose up to take charge. My sister told you all about the battle that happened, right? I guess so. Maybe. Yeah! Oh, I guess she did. All of Himizawa got together and fought as one. They had protests brought into court and even appeared on TV. In reality, there were many things that happened that were far more extreme. Under the surface, the Shinozaki main house was doing all sorts of illegal things to oppress her. Oppose it. They were acting illegally. For example, they were sneaking to the construction site in the middle of the night and steal equipment or break it, or put sugar cubes in the gasoline tanks of the construction vehicles. Sugar cubes? Sugar in their gasoline tanks? Why would they? Don't know. It's practically their representative guerrilla tactic. It was used by underground organizations in France in World War II for one. When you put sugar in the engine, it gets burnt out and breaks down. That's so. That's pretty bad though, isn't it? It was destruction of property and nothing else, nothing less. When they beefed up the guard at the construction facility, the family turned to attacking important construction personnel who worked there. The government officials who had given permission for the construction, for example, received all kinds of threats, not just people from the peculiar office either. Apparently this reached as far as the Ministry of Construction. As far as I've heard, they even kidnapped a child once. Kidnapped? Yes. The child of an important person in the Ministry of Construction who was in charge of Himizawa Dam got spirited away. Then one day all of a sudden he was rescued in the Takosito mountain. upstream from Himazawa. He got spirited away. Apparently there were never any criminal accusations, but people whispered that it had been a threat to stop the dam construction from happening. Besides that, there are stories about so many different threats that I couldn't possibly list them all. Wow, that's sort of bad, isn't it? Sort of, I guess. Right in the middle of the whole thing, the first incident happened. That's when the dismemberment of the construction dam occurred. People whispered that the Shinozaki family had brought out the primal principal offender, but of course he fled and they still haven't found him. If you put it that way, the Shinozaki family definitely seems suspicious. Rishisan even seemed to think that the criminal was erased so he wouldn't talk, which is pretty reasonable of him. It's even enough to make me think the Shinozaki main house is doing some really shady things behind the scenes, even though I'm related to them. Are you telling me to believe that the Shinozaki main house where Mion lives has done all those bad things? You're telling me to believe it? Even if you don't, Ki-chan, the villagers do. While they oppose the dam in upright and lawful ways, the Shinozaki house did the dirty work for them. Everyone believes that they fought at the front, so they would take the brunt of the criticism. So they're responsible. So they're respected as some sort of heroes of darkness. I think I only really know one part of it though. For example, the really bad stuff like the kidnapping, I think only a handful of people even know about it, like including Grandma. Shinozaki family is secretive after all. Secretive, huh? A family so unforthcoming that even Shion, who's related to them, doesn't know everything about them. Shinozaki family. Unlike Shion, her older twin sister, Mion, was deeply involved with everything, and that was not a fun thought to entertain. Oh. My sister, though young, was the one who acted as the center of the illegal resistance movement. Mion was? What do you mean? Well, Ada is a big shot Yakuza. Even when she was little, my sister managed to subject a bunch of young street rats. Then she played all sorts of tricks on them and just generally got in their way. Mion did that? Now she's pretty laid back, so it might be hard to imagine. They put her in charge of everything from property damage to threats and even acts of violence. Though, since she was a kid, they could get her released pretty easily. She learned that her age could be used as a weapon. It may have been, indecent, but I couldn't help but chuckle dryly. She may have been young, but she was certainly still Mion. Even back then, she had only been known for her craftiness. There's nothing to laugh about. Please take this seriously. Ah, sorry, I didn't mean to. Shion had gotten pretty angry at me. While her delinquency soon got her into a position of authority in the Shinozaki main house, it's not unthinkable that Ushi suspects them for the experiment incident that the later ones too. For a few moments I was dumbstruck at the tales of Mion's past. None of them matched the image I had of her. A younger Mion dirtying her hands with all sorts of crimes, giving the dam construction project hell. Construction. Yeah, okay. As the successor of the Shinozaki family, she was always right at the center of the vortex of strange incidents occurring year after year. Was that really the Mion I knew? No. Maybe the one I know isn't the real Mion. I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't bring myself to accept these images of Mion I was hearing from another person. Well, back to the main subject. I just wanted you to know that my sister is someone worth being cautious around, so please be careful. I didn't want to understand that Mion was a fantastic friend. She would never do something to back me into a corner like that. She did ask me pretty harshly about the things at the festival, but even that, it wasn't like she say it in a mean way or anything. Alright, I'll make sure to be careful. We're sisters related by blood, but within the Shinozaki family we're basically of a different class. I want you to recognize how distant they are from me, please. The more Shion tells me about Mion, the less I understand who Mion is. The Mion I know wasn't a dangerous person. She joked around, smiled a lot, and was full of passion. Now that I'd realized I'd held such a view towards her, she was telling me to change her, to be careful around the best friend ever, to doubt her. The idea was very sad and painful. Now about Ushi, if you think it's a good idea, then I think we should give him the information he needs. I think getting the police on our side would work in our favor. You thought so too, Shion? It's just that at the moment, like I explained, the police have their eyes on the Shinzaki family already. Ushi in particular completely believes that they're the masterminds behind the serial incidences. That includes me, of course, so I don't really want much to do with Ushi. I see. If Ushi-san had found out about the Shinzaki family's drive-filled history, then he probably wouldn't be very happy with Shion either. Uh, at last I understood Mion's instinctive dislike for Ushi. So I'll be out in the open at this point, but try not to give my name to him. If you agree to that, then I don't think there's a problem with you telling him anything. I got it. I won't mention your name. The police's investigative ability should be quite a reliable weapon for us right now. If Ushi tells you anything interesting, then let me know as well. Yeah, of course. We'll share information and investigate together. Who killed Takano-san and Tomitak? Who was after us? And until we know, we need to defend ourselves. Anything else? Besides what Uchi told you, I mean? If anything else happened, no matter how minor, please tell me. That's for my discussion with Uchi. Oh. Should I tell her that I revealed everything to Rika-chan? Rika-chan was acting like she knew something, didn't she? She told me to leave it to her, but what? Ah, that's right. When I was talking to her, I mentioned Shion's name too. Is that a mistake? I felt like Shion would get angry. Nothing else? Ki-chan? I had remained silent for a little while, so Shion encouraged me to speak, unable to bear the silence. I struggled to say what as I struggled with what to say, Shion addressed me instead. It doesn't sound like it, so can I ask you something? I just heard this myself. Is it true that Oman Kimiyoshi went missing? The Oman Kimiyoshi? My gut told me that was the name of the mayor. You mean the mayor? Wait, Shion, you haven't heard? I don't know anything. I just overheard my dad talking about it on the phone again. I realize I shouldn't have said that. You and him as well were the things that happened around this time when Shida-sama's curse would reoccur would all be covered up. Yeah, actually, last night after a meeting, he didn't come home. So all of Himizawa was confused. They searched all around throughout the village, but if they found him, then I haven't heard. The police should be in search for him as well. Why didn't you tell me something that important right away? She shouted angrily at me, bringing all her emotions to bear. Sorry, I thought you already knew. I didn't want to hide from you or anything. The receiver went silent. Did Shion get mad and hang up? Hey Shion, hello? Ki-chan. What? What should I do? Shion's tiny confused voice sounded like it belonged to a different person than the one yelling at me a few seconds ago. What's wrong? Tell me. You're not keeping secrets from each other, are we? Shion hesitated for a long time, but then she confessed. I'm sorry. Well, I didn't mean to hide it. It was just that, well, the conversation got turned around and we're on the same side, right? I won't get mad, so just tell me honestly. Shion hesitated for a few moments. Then, in a resigned voice, she continued, Oman Kimiyoshi, I told him everything. Shion seemed to think of her right after she said that, so I heard her catching her breath. Contrary to what she thought, I was a little relieved. Shion had done the same thing I had done when I confessed to Rika. So in a gentle voice as I could, as to not set her off, I responded, Oman Kimiyoshi, he's someone you feel comfortable confiding in, Shion. Yes, he would. When I was little, he was really nice to me. Shion felt the same pain as the rest of us from the mayor's disappearance. She had a different kind of strength from Mion, and as she continued, her voice sounded truly sad and pained. What I did was play tricks on him, but he would always smile. He listened to anything I had to say. He was such a kind person. Calm down, Shion. It's not like he's dead, right? Don't lose heart so easily. Shion didn't answer. Even as I said that myself, I didn't think we'd ever find the missing mayor again. We probably wouldn't even figure out if he was dead or alive. Shion must have been thinking the same thing. That night, I told the mayor that we snuck into the storehouse, and also that someone else saw us when we got out. Does that mean the mayor knows how absurdly Takano-san's and Tomitaka-san's death was? Yes, he knew about it. I told him that they died by Oshiro-sama's curse, that I could be made a sacrifice to calm his anger. I just said it straight out, right? What then? Oman Kimiyoshi didn't get angry. He smiled and told me that I was properly sorry. There would be no way I'd be demoned it away. He was really smiling, and he told me to leave it to him. Hmm. Until Shion stopped sobbing, I was unable to find any words from her. I couldn't imagine what kind of person the mayor was, nor what Shion's relationship was like with him. Words of comfort, however mean so much to us when we're about to be crushed by anxiety. Today, Rika-chan taught me that too. Somebody who gave me such a sense of security were to disappear. Now I guess what kind of shock Shion was in. It's my fault. Because I revealed everything. Stop it, Shion. It's not your fault. No. It's my fault. I told him everything. When Kimiyashi found out about everything, so he had to be killed. So after I told him everything, he disappeared the same night that I confessed, and he told me everything was going to be alright. He found out, so he became involved. I should never have told him. All of this should have just been our fault. Only the four of us. It wasn't something I should have told to anyone else. He got killed because I told him. He got killed because he knew. He got killed because I revealed it. So, hey, stop. If you're gonna do that, then they would obviously have killed you before killing the mayor. The order is all wrong. You and I should be the ones killed first. Why the hell would someone else get killed first? No, it's in order. They must be planted first, last of all. What? What? They're not killing the first people who came to the mine. They saw by killing those close to, and then after they've caused so much pain, they'd kill us. That must be what they're doing. I don't think that's the usual method for this, but okay. Also, on the disappearances like on the same night of when the thingy happens as well. So let me old man Kimiyashi was actually the one who was demonted away. And then an extra person died? Maybe? That must be what they're doing. I said calm down. Jion, you're in shock, you're panicking. The mayor's disappearance has nothing to do with you. It's unconnected. It's not related to Kansan and Tomotak-san dying out well either. My words came out as a scream as if I was shouting them to myself. Didn't I tell Rika-chan? Is she involved? No, it's connected. It just has to be. I told him, so he was killed. He got killed because he knew. I confessed to him, so he got killed. She kept repeating the same thing as before, as though she was in delirium. Despite my best efforts to try to console that crazy Shion, for some reason the shadow on my feet began to freeze. From that shadow, a cold arm reached out. So cold it seemed like it would freeze you in my heart just by touching me and grabbed my ankle. The heat generating from my body, the arm was absorbing it. It was a horrible cold chill, a freezing cold, numbingly rigid. It was unavoidable, chill of fear. There was sympathize with Shion. I had been naive in thinking it was something only she had to worry about. In my head, Shion's eerie words repeated again and again. He was killed because I told him. He was killed because he found out. I confessed everything. So he was killed. Those words echoed through my head like a um uh monotone mantra, and finally those even repetitions took on meaning. The quiet shaking that had already taken over me turned into a violent shiver that shook up my spine. V- v- Rika-chan is Rika-chan. What? What did you say just now? I, I, well, the truth is I told her about it. I told Rika-chan today. Rika-chan, you mean Rika-chanma? The one from Furuju Shrine? Yes, Rika-chan. I felt scared and I felt so scared and easy that I did. I told Rika-chan. When did you, what did she say? The cat is worrying too much. I'll do something about it for sure. That's what Rika-chan said, and then she smiled. She smiled just like the missing mayor had when he encouraged Shion. I'm sorry, Shion. I'm a bit worried about Rika-chan. Alright, if you're that concerned, then don't worry about me. Just go find out whether she's safe. Y- yeah, I'll do that. I'll call you again tomorrow at the same time. When I do, I'll let you know I'm alright. I got it. I'll be waiting. Okay, bye bye. Sorry, I'm hanging up. I put down the receiver without wanting for Shion to say goodbye. Danger to Shion and myself was secondary at this point. Sixth sense was blaring alarms in my head. I don't like this feeling. It's really bad. It's definitely bad. Damn it, please be safe. Rika-chan. Oh, oh, it's Higurashi when they cry. Is that just gonna be the next chapter, or is this gonna keep going? I don't know actually. Oh, it is the next chapter. Okay. Tips. Okay. Is this 8? The three families in modern times. As previously described, the Three Families Council today is a mere shell of a democracy. In reality, it is a dictatorship run by the Shinazaki family. With the Kimiyashi and Furuju family are far from their former glory, and it doesn't seem at all like they maintain the ancient traditions. Isn't it really weird that these notes are after the one that says tonight I'm going to the warehouse. I mean I'm going to the ritual house. Like I feel like they're out of order. Like I don't think she read all of these after she wrote the I'm going to the warehouse tonight one. Unless she was for some reason trying to write down all her findings, just in case something happened to her. They maintain the ancient traditions. Only the Shinazaki family has retained their glory from the past and inherited many colorful traditions from this age known as Watanagashi village. Even the most recent verifiable examples of Watanagashi that occurred at the end of the Meiji era seem to have been done under the orders of the Shinazaki family. First to the three families' geological tree from the late Meiji. After the start of the Meiji era, the Shinazaki family wanted to push the development of Himazawa village, so they took a strong role in leadership. During the dam wars a few years ago, the Kimiyoshi family served as the chairman of the opposition alliance, but this was in name only. In actuality, the Shinazaki family resigned as leaders behind the scenes. People whispered that perhaps the Kimiyoshi family um, dictated actions of oppression that could be publicized, and the Shinazaki family in enacted those which would not. Even in Himizawa, they whispered that the multitude of unsettling incidences reported during the dam project, such as kidnapping of the famous head of Ministry of the Construction's son, had been carried out by the Shinazakis. Additionally, they say that perhaps the Shinazaki family's secret maneuvering was responsible for the serial freak death incidents that have continuously occurred in recent years as well. The serial freak death incidences has without doubt the second coming to the traditional Watanagashi. They must be enacting the Watanagashi on the day of the original Watanagashi, which has fallen to the level of an ordinary village festival in order to remind the villagers of the holy wars of Onigaushi village. Safe to assert that exploring the Shinazaki family is its fastest route for researching it today. If I can expose the contents of the Furuju Shrine storehouse, I would like to narrow my research target to the Shinazaki family next. The Shinazaki family is strictly guarded by security cameras on the premise, but thankfully I've become acquainted with the sister, Mion, the next, Hair, and Chian. I want this to be a breakthrough I can connect to my next line of research. Ba ba da ba 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 da ba, and their punishment isn't over? Whose punishment? No, 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 don't worry about it. You see, when you order the Odin here, for some reason it ends up on the annual invoice for our gas contracts, so don't be shy and have another drink. The man red-faced waved his hand to say that he'd had enough and disappeared into the brilliant neon light in front of the station. Kuma-chan, you should be taking notes. The most modest people are the ones who live the longest. Is all that true? Well, I don't know about that. Whether or not it's true, I think there's meaning in hearing something that sounds so plausible. Would something like that be a motive to go for the mayor? Kuma-chan, here's what I always say. The motive only has to be enough for the person in question. You need to think about how different people value things. Hey bartender, give me another mug. Though we have always been suppressing the information, Tomitake and Takana's deaths were only known throughout Humizawa. Kumi doesn't really have a model, does he? Is is he just supposed to be the person that Yushi's always talking to, so I know what's going on? Um, all of the rumors are pointed to them having encouraged the wrath of Orishida-sama from setting foot in the Forbidden Temple, the storehouse for ritual implements. According to the rumors, there were two other people who went in there with them, Shurion Shinzaki and Kichi Mabara. People were whispering in the shadows that those two would be cursed by Uchiha-sama as well. Currently, however, the responsibility didn't fall solely on the four trespassers' shoulders. But until last year, it was locked up tight. But this year, it had been changed to a simpler lock. Hadn't that been allowed or allowed the trees to enter so easily? There were rumors going around. Have you seen it, Kuma-chan? I remember it. Well, I had to go there for quite some time a while back. Sorry, I don't really remember. It was locked up so tight, it was scary. There were really heavy metal bars and stuff. It was sealed up as good as a bank vault. This year, it was a very simple and cheap padlock. The lone girl practicing the shrine, Rika Furudu, just like the heavy lock, and consulted with the mayor, who had replaced it with a simpler lock. So then the mayor and Rika Furudu shared the crime. So then after the mayor, wouldn't Rika Furudu be in danger next? There's a decent possibility, Kuma-chan. I want you to contact all the cards we have in Himizawa. Tell them to stick near the Furudu shrine. Got it. Ah, well, I guess that's it for this time then. So, oh, alright. Oh, that's chapter 9. Alright. So yeah, that's it. So bye bye.